Alright, in this video we're checking out, or we're comparing the SYNCO XTalk to the Hollyland Solidcom system. There's going to be a speed round, then I'm going to go into more details, and third part is going to be conclusion. Let's get into it. Speed round, couple of categories, we're going to go through them one by one. Number one, price. SYNCO has it. Way better bang for your buck, like less than half the price of this one, and you're getting an extra headset. So bang for your buck, SYNCO. Transportation, again, SYNCO has it. Better, sturdier case in my opinion. Design, now this is basically a cheaper version of this one. The design over here is more sleek, it's more well thought out, so design wise I'm gonna give it to Hollyland. Usability, very similar. Again, Hollyland has it in my opinion. The mechanical parts just move more smoothly, so Hollyland takes this one. Accessories, pretty much the same because this one took a big chunk out of the playbook for this one. I like that this one has a single charger and total battery redundancy, 4 units, 8 batteries. This one has 5 units and 5 batteries, so no battery redundancy. So in this case, Hollyland has it. Functionality, close to similar with one very notable exception on the side of SYNCO. You can monitor audio sources via the headphone. That's awesome. Such a good idea, and you can't do it with the C1s. Reliability, I'm gonna give it to Hollyland. With a whole house in between master and slave unit, the signal was still strong on the side of Hollyland, but it did break up with the SYNCO XTalk units. Now this is a super extreme scenario. In that case, I'm going to give it to Hollyland. With regular set scenarios, you're not going to notice a difference, I think. All right, let's go through the categories again, but in a bit more detail. Price. Now it really depends on whether what you get for the extra money on the Hollyland side is really worth it to you or not. And you could argue this both ways. SYNCO is almost as good, but much cheaper, less than half the price, plus an extra headset. Hollyland is definitely better in multiple ways, but only slightly. So really at the end of this video, you should be able to make that exact assessment for what you're doing, whether the Hollyland or the SYNCO is the way to go. Transportation. Hollyland looks nicer. At least I think so. Looks to be manufactured more nicely. SYNCO is just more robust. Super strong walls with the SYNCO case. Overall more flex with the Hollyland case. I feel that even if everything inside the Hollyland case would be crushed, that itself would still return to its original shape. Whereas the SYNCO case, because there's some kind of like thin plywood, I guess, or some kind of rigid plastic inside the walls, the front and the back, this would probably break at some point and then protect the gear no longer. Also, with Hollyland, the case being smaller, the headsets are constantly pressed down upon a little, whereas they sit or rest rather comfortably inside the bigger SYNCO case. Me personally, I feel more comfortable transporting the units with the SYNCO case. It's bigger, but I don't have a problem with that. Design. Now first off, the idea to do the comparison video was SYNCO's. And I will call that unusual. You could also call it very confident. Overall, the design looks pretty much like a cheaper version of the Hollyland product, which this essentially is. So that does make sense. I'm not really sure what to say here. The design of the Hollyland units I consider more professional, better thought out. The look itself is more refined. Then again, the SYNCO is and looks its part, the part of the cheaper, the more budget-friendly product, which this is aiming to be. So in that spirit, the more blocky, less refined design is actually coherent with the aim of the product itself. So you're gonna have to make up your mind on that one. Usability. All the parts with the SYNCO units, the mechanical parts, simply do not move as smoothly as with the Hollyland units. Over time and use, that might actually change with the SYNCO units. Right now at least, I have to use both hands when flipping the mic up and down because otherwise the whole headset moves on my head. That's not the case with Hollyland, where I can just use one hand to flip the mic up and down, which really on set makes a huge difference. So in that case, I like Hollyland much better. There's also little things like this coiled cable that gets caught here with SYNCO and does not get caught with Hollyland. Is that important? No, it's not. Does it speak to the depth of thought that went into design? Yes. Then there's also a big problem, at least with my master unit, unfortunately. The battery compartment simply does not put enough pressure on the battery. So when I shake the unit, when I turn my head very quickly or set the unit down on a table, the battery disconnects for a moment and the headphone turns off. Being the master headset, that means that the connection for all other headsets is interrupted, at least for a moment.
Pairing failed.
Power on.
Pairing succeed.
Power on. Turn off the microphone.
Pairing succeed.
Power on. Turn off the microphone.
Pairing succeed.
So, as I said, a very quick turn of the head or just putting it down in a hurry, I guess, might trigger that disconnect. It might be just my unit, and probably is, and I have already applied a little sturdy foam piece inside the battery bay right here, which works. Still suboptimal in my book. Now the one thing that bugs me a little, if I up the volume like 5 times, make it a lot louder, I have to listen to the audio feedback for 5 times as well. Like I have to listen to volume up 5 times in a row.
Volume up, volume up, volume up, volume up, maximum volume.
Like simply put a delay on there and let me hear it once after I'm done upping the volume. Something else to be considered for a future firmware update. Accessories. Both have stickers, both have bags for the individual headphones. SYNCO has a really nice velvet version of the bags, which I really like to touch. Hollyland has some kind of synthetic faux leather type deal. Not important though. Both have nice bags. Both have spare foam cushions for the ears and microphones. Both offer over-ear and on-ear options. Really, why Hollyland has to come out on top here, in my opinion at least, is batteries and charger. Hollyland, dedicated charger, locking power cable, fits 8 batteries, so for a 4-piece set, complete battery redundancy. SYNCO, 3 individual chargers, 2 batteries per charger, regular micro USB cable, only 5 batteries for 5 units, so no redundancy at all when you plan on using all headsets. 25 hours of battery life is enough for 1 day, so you can recharge batteries. However, me personally, I like redundancy. I have lost batteries this small and I have forgotten to charge batteries before, so that happens. But that's on me, not SYNCO. Functionality. Now what's really cool with SYNCO, people can monitor an audio source coming in from a mixer, for example. So not only can you communicate on set, but at the same time you can monitor audio sources, multiple even in case of a mixer. That's such a great idea and not possible with the C1s from Hollyland. So functionality, SYNCO has it. The earpiece on the Hollyland unit has more tilt and pan, but the SYNCO one still sits comfortably on my head. Both are extendable to fit both small and big heads. Noise cancellation works fine with the SYNCO units. The C1s from Hollyland don't offer that functionality. You would have to update to the Pro series to get noise cancellation with a Hollyland unit. Pairing is easy and quick on both sides. Switching channels and upping and lowering volume is done in exactly the same way and works the same way. With the SYNCOs, the master headset has a mute all remote headsets option to show who's boss. Now that's cool and not available with the C1s. Bigger teams, bigger than 6 or 9 people, they should really look at SYNCO because SYNCO says you can communicate with up to 18 headsets without a hub. That's fantastic. On the Hollyland side, the Solidcom C1 can accommodate up to 6 members without a hub and up to 9 with a hub. So 18 versus 6 and 9. Battery life on the Hollyland units is a bit more than half than that of the SYNCO units. Reliability. Now both systems gave me a strong and stable signal on the small to medium sized sets that I run. Now with a whole house in between units, Hollyland still gave me a strong uninterrupted signal, aka with a lot of walls in between units. Whereas the SYNCO unit signal tended to break here and there a little. So if you want to communicate in between different rooms with a couple of walls in between units and team members, which in my work I have to say doesn't happen all that often since I run small to medium sized sets, the Solidcom units are the ones that are more reliable, in my experience. Conclusion. Now, in my opinion, the more professional, reliable product is manufactured by Hollyland. However, at less than half the price and including an additional slave headset, the bang for buck ratio of the SYNCO XTalk is just unbeatable. It's incredible value for money. However, if the strongest, most reliable signal is most important to you, Hollyland. If you need to monitor audio from the headset as well as communicate, SYNCO. If you want master mute, SYNCO. If you need more than 6 people without a hub or more than 9 total, SYNCO. If you need noise cancellation, SYNCO. If battery redundancy is needed, Hollyland. Now, you could buy extra batteries for the SYNCO units as well, I guess. If a more secure and sturdy case, for whatever reason, should be most important to you, SYNCO. If smoother, easier operation is most important, Hollyland. If budget friendliness is of most importance, definitely SYNCO. Either way, you will greatly improve your workflows on set. I love working with headsets ever since I started. It makes everything easier and smoother. And it makes us look more professional, at least to laymen. So that's it for this video. Was it helpful? Can I do something better? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for your time and hopefully see you again soon.